Hi, everyone. Today is a special day in the Jewish calendar. It's not a holiday. Holidays are days where we're happy and we remember happy things. Today is what's called a Memorial Day. And memorial has what kind of word hiding in it? Memory, right. And today is a day where we use our memories to remember what happened in Europe about 60, 70 years ago. And what happened is called Ha-Shoah. Can you practice saying that word one time? Ha-Shoah. And Shoah means destruction, like something was broken. And the reality is, it wasn't a thing that was broken, it was many, many, many things that were broken. And the things that were broken were communities. Communities that were strong and had lots of families in them were broken. And they really haven't been built back in the same way in Europe. Many people moved to America and built communities here and joined communities here. Some people moved to Israel and built their communities there and joined communities there. My family was one of those families who had their community broken in Romania, moved to Israel and helped build a community there, and then moved to America and helped build community here. Today I'm going to light one candle. Thank you for coming in quietly. Today I'm going to light one candle, and when you see that one candle and its flame, I'd like you to try to remember that it's not just one thing that we're keeping in our memory, but many, many communities that our families were parts of. I'm also going to say a special tefillah, which is called El Maleh Rachamim, which asks God to please take care of those people that were lost in the war and that were killed. And so I'm going to ask us to stand. I'm going to ask us all to take a deep breath. Remembering what happened and using that memory to make a world that's a better place. El Maleh Rachamim Shochen Bamromim Hamtzei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei Hashchina B'malot Kedoshim Uteorim Kezohar Harakia Mazirim Lenishmot Sheshet Milyonei Achioteinu Ve'acheinu Asher Nispu Bashoah Shenehargu V'shenishchetu שנחנקו ושנקברו חיים, שנשרפו ושעונו, ילדים וזקנים, נשים וגברים. בעל הרחמים הסתירם בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתם, בגן עדן תהיה מנוחתם. Adonai hu nachalatam, yanuchu v'shalom, al b'surei mishkevotam, v'nomar amen.
Maybe I just won't use the microphone. Hi, everybody. I'm Emma. I teach in Kadima, and I'm the theater arts director at BJ. And I'm thank you, excited to share with you what we've been working on in class for 2 trimesters. We're going to do an abridged version of the Diary of Anne Frank that the students would like me to tell you is a WIP, which stands for Work in Progress. And part of what we've talked about, we're doing a workshop production. So you'll see that we have binders. We're looking at the words. We didn't memorize the play. We didn't have enough rehearsal time. And we don't use props, except for a couple really important props. And it's on purpose. It's so that we could focus on Not just telling the story and doing the play, but learning about the true story of the people whose lives you're going to get to see a little bit today. So I'm going to step off the stage and let the cast take it away. Grab your microphones. Great.
Yes, me. Yes.
Everyone in the office has gone home. It's after 6. Don't stay up here, Mr. Frank. What's the use of torturing yourself like this?
I've come to say goodbye. I'm leaving here, Meep.
What do you mean? Where are you going? Where?
I don't know yet. I haven't decided.
Mr. Frank, you can't leave here. This is your home. Amsterdam is your home. Your prison is here waiting for you. You're needed here. Now that the war is over, there are other things that...
I can't stay in Amsterdam, Meep. It has too many memories for me. Everywhere there's something. The house we lived in, the school, the street organ playing out there. I'm not the person you used to know, Meep. I'm a bitter old man. Forgive me. I shouldn't speak to you like this. After all that you did for us, the suffering.
No, it wasn't suffering. You can't say we suffered.
I know what you went through. You and Mr. Crawler. I'll remember it for as long as I live. Come, Meep.
Mr. Frank, did you see? There are some of your papers here. We found them in a heap of rubbish on the floor after you left.
Burn them.
But Mr. Frank, there are letters, notes.
Burn them. All of them.
Burn this?
Anna's diary. Monday, the 6th of July, 1942. 1942? Is it possible, Meep? Only 3 years ago. Dear Diary, since you and I are going to be great friends, I will start by telling you about myself. My name is Anna Frank. I am 13 years old. I was born in Germany in the 12th of June, 1929. As my family is Jewish, we emigrated to Holland when Hitler came to power. My father started a business importing spice and herbs. Things went well for us until 1940. Then the war came, and the Dutch defeat, followed by the arrival of the Germans. Then things got very bad for the Jews.
You cannot do this, and you cannot do that. They forced Father out of his business. We had to wear yellow stars. I had to turn in my bike. I couldn't go to a Dutch school anymore. I couldn't go to the movies or even ride an automobile. Not even a streetcar, and a million other things. But somehow we children still managed to have fun. Yesterday, Father told me we were going into hiding, where he wouldn't say. At 5 o'clock this morning, Mother woke me and told me to hurry and get dressed. It wasn't until we were on our way that I learned where we were going. Our hiding place was where Father used to have his business. 3 other people would be coming with us, the Van Dons and their son Peter. Father knew the Van Dons, but we had never met them.
Something's happened to them. I know it.
Now, Curly.
Mr. Frank said they'd be here at 7 o'clock. He said they have 2 miles to walk. You can't expect. They've been picked up. That's what happened. I know it. You see?
Mr. Von Don, there are too many of the green police on the streets. We had to take the long way around.
Anna.
My wife, Edith, Mr. and Mrs. Von Don, and their son, Peter. My daughters, Margaret and Anna.
I'm sorry, there's still so much confusion.
Please.
I'm sorry there's still so much confusion.
Please, don't think of it.
We put the food you said away, your medicine away, your soap away. I made
Thank you, me.
I made up the beds. Forgive me. I have to hurry. I've got to go to the other side of town and get some ration books for you.
Ration books. If they see our name on ration books, they'll know we're here.
There's an Eddie.
Don't worry, your names won't be on them.
Thank you, me.
It's illegal then, the ration books. We've never done anything illegal.
Well, we won't exactly be living according to regulations here.
This is what we call the white market, Mrs. Frank, helping all of the hundreds and hundreds who are hiding out in Amsterdam. I must go. I must be out of here downstairs in the office before the workmen get here. Me or both of us. We'll be up here each day to bring you food and news and find out what your needs are. Oh, and you'll tell them about the noise.
I'll tell them.
Goodbye then for the moment. I'll come up again after the workmen leave.
Goodbye, Mr. Caller. How can we thank you?
Wait, take the microphone.
I never thought I'd live to see the day when a man like Mr. Frank would have to go into hide.
What did he mean about the noise?
First, let's settle in.
A cat? Oh, Anna.
Now, about the noise. While the men are in the building below, we must have complete quiet. Every sound can be heard down there. To be perfectly safe, from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening, we must move only when it is necessary. We must not speak above a whisper. We must not run any water. We cannot use the sink or even, forgive me, the WC. No trash must ever be thrown out, which might reveal that someone is living here. Not even a potato peel. We must burn everything in the stove at night. This is the way we must live until it is over, if we are to survive.
Until it is over.
After 6, we can move about. We can talk and have our supper and read and play games just as we would at home. And now I think it would be wise if we all went to our rooms and were settled in.
Never, never can we thank you. I don't know what would have happened if it hadn't been for you, Mr. Frank.
You don't know how your husband helped me when I came to this country. Knowing no one, not able to speak the language, I could never repay him for that. You two must have some rest. Edith, you didn't close your eyes last night, nor you, Margaret.
I slept, Father. Wasn't that funny? I knew it was the last night in my own bed, and yet I slept soundly.
I'm glad, Anna. Now you will be able to help me straighten things in here. Anna, Peter, it's best that you take your shoes off now, before you forget.
What's your cat's name?
Mushy.
Mushy. I love cats. I have one, a darling little cat. But they made me leave her behind. I left some food and a note for my neighbors to take care of her. I'm gonna miss her terribly.
He doesn't like strangers.
Then I'll have to stop being a stranger. Where'd you go to school?
Jewish secondary.
What are you doing?
Taking it off?
But they'll arrest you if you go without your star.
Who's going out?
You're right. We don't need them anymore. I wonder what our friends will think when we don't show up today. I had a date with Yopi DeWall. Yopi's my best friend. I wonder what she'll think. We left everything. Breakfast dishes in the sink. What are you going to do with yours?
Burn it.
It's funny. I can't throw it away. I don't know why.
You can't throw something they branded you with, something they made you wear.
I know, but after all, it is the Star of David, isn't it?
You'll like him. I know.
I certainly hope so, since he's the only friend I'm likely to see for months and months.
Anna, there's a box there. Will you open it?
You know the way I'm going to think of it here? I'm going to think of it as a boarding house. Father, my movie stars. I was wondering where they were.
There's something more. Go on, look further.
A diary? I've always longed for one. Pencil. I'm going down to the office to get a pencil.
Anna, no!
But there's no one in the building now.
It doesn't matter. I don't want you ever to go beyond that door.
Never? Not even on Sundays? Can I go out to listen to the radio?
Never. I'm sorry, Annika. It isn't safe. You must never go beyond that door.
I see.
It'll be hard, I know, but always remember this, Annika. There are no walls, no bolts, no locks that anyone can put on your mind.
I thought I'd better get some water for Mushy before...
Of course.
I should be describing what it feels like to go into hiding, but I don't really know yet myself. The only thing I know is funny never to be able to go outdoors, to never breathe fresh air, to never run outside and jump. Every time I hear a creak in the house and step outside, I'm frightened. The days aren't so bad. We know Meep and Mr. Collar will come for us. Our protectors, we call them. I asked Father what they would do to them if the Nazis found out they were hiding us. Pim says they would suffer the same fate we would, and yet they come up here. They're cheerful as if there is nothing in the world to bother them. Friday, the 21st of August, 1942. Today I'm going to tell you the general news. Mother is unbearable. She insists on treating me like a baby. Otherwise, things are getting better. The weather is...
It's safe now. The last workman.
I'm first for the WC.
6 o'clock. School's over.
Have you seen my shoes?
Your shoes?
You've taken them, haven't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're going to be sorry!
Am I? Anna, dear.
Wait till I get you!
I'm waiting. Anna, Peter, you complain that I don't treat you like a grown-up, but when I do, you resent it. I only want some fun, someone to laugh and clown with. After you've sat all day and hardly moved, you've got to have some fun. Come on, Margaret, dance with me. Come on, please. Ahem.
Oh, yeah, I have to help with supper.
You know we're gonna forget how to dance? When we get out, we won't remember a thing. Next. I wonder where Meep is. She's usually so prompt. Anna, dear, your hair. You're warm. Are you feeling all right? Please, Mother. You haven't a fever, have you? You know we can't call a doctor here ever. There's only one thing we can do. Watch carefully. Prevent an illness before it comes.
I think there's nothing the matter with Anna that a ride on her bike or a visit with friends wouldn't cure. Isn't that so, Anna?
Meep not come yet? What's for dinner? Beans. Not again!
We are now in what is known as the bean cycle. Beans boiled, beans on casserole, beans with strings, beans without strings.
How did I do on my algebra?
Excellent, 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 excellent.
Well, you should have used a subjective here.
Should I? I thought, look here. I didn't use it here.
Meep must have the radio on.
I must remember when Meep comes to ask her to bring me some more wool.
Oh yeah. I need some hairpins and some soap. I made a list. It's wonderful that Meep has a life of her own, the way we make her run errands for us.
Please, Meep, get me some starch.
Please, Meep, take my hair out. I have to get it cut. Tell me all the latest news, Meep.
Did you know she's engaged? His name is Dirk, and Meep's afraid the Nazis will ship him off to Germany to work on one of their war plants.
Come here, Anna.
Talk, talk, talk. I never heard such a child. Every evening, it's the same. Talk, talk, talk. Why aren't you nice and quiet like your sister Margaret? Why do you just show off all the time?
I'm going to be remarkable. I'm going to Paris.
Paris?
To study music and art.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a famous dancer or singer or something wonderful. Oops.
Now look what you've done to my beautiful fur coat.
I'm so sorry.
What do you care? It's not yours. Go and ruin it. Do you even know what that coat cost? And now look at it. Look at it.
I'm very, very sorry. It was an accident. Anyone can have an accident.
It isn't necessary to fight. Margaret doesn't fight, and isn't she?
That's all I hear from everyone. How wonderful Margaret is. Why aren't you more like Margaret?
Oh, come on, Anna. Don't be so.
Let's put the soup in this thing.
Is it me?
Yes, Mr. Flonk's gone down to let her in.
Mr. Crawler? How are you, Mr. Crawler?
This is a surprise. Whenever Mr. Crawler comes, the sun begins to shine for us.
Is Meep coming?
Not tonight.
Mr. Caller has something to talk over with us. Something has happened, he says, which demands an immediate decision.
What is it?
What happened?
What happened?
Usually, when I come up here, I try to bring you a bit of good news. But what's the use of telling you the bad news when there's nothing you can do about it? But today something has happened. Dirk, Weeps Dirk, you know, came to me just now. He tells me that he has a Jewish friend living near him, a dentist. He says he's in trouble. He begged me, could I do anything for this man? Could I try to find him a hiding place? So I've come to you. I know it's a terrible thing to ask you, living as you are, but would you take him with you?
Of course we will.
It'll just be for a night or two, until I can find some other place. This happened so sudden that I didn't know where to turn. He's downstairs in the office. His name is Mr. Doozle. Jan Doozle. I'll get him.
Forgive me, I spoke without consulting you, but I knew you'd feel as I do.
The only thing I feel, there's so little food as it is, and to take in another person.
We can stretch the food a little bit.
And he can have my bed.
No. Margaret will come in here with us and he can have her bed. That's right. We could do that. What's happening?
Someone is moving in with us.
Come in, Mr. Dussel.
Mr. Otter Frank?
Here, let me take your things.
This is my wife, Edith, Mr. and Mrs. Rondon, their son, Peter, and our daughters, Margaret and Anna.
Thank you, Mr. Frank. Thank you all. Mr. Doozle, I leave you in good hands. What can I say to thank you?
Mr. Caller and Leaf, they're our lifeline. Without them, we couldn't live.
Please, you make us seem very heroic. It isn't that at all. We simply don't like the Nazis. We don't like anything about them. Peter, you'll bolt the door after me, won't you?
Yes, sir.
Good night.
Good night.
Please, Mr. Dussel, sit down.
I'm dreaming. I know it. I can't believe my eyes. Mr. Otto Frank, here? So you're not in Switzerland then? A woman told me. She said she'd gone to your house, the door was open, everything was in disarray. Dishes in the sink. She said she found a piece of paper in the waste bucket with an address scribbled on it. An address in Zurich. She said you must have escaped to Zurich.
Father put that there purposely, just so people would think that very thing.
And you've been here all this time?
All this time.
Ever since July. It worked, Kim. The address you left. Mr. Dussel says that people believe we escaped to Switzerland.
I'm glad. Welcome. We're honored to have you with us all.
Did Mr. Caller warn you that you won't get much to eat here? You can imagine. 3 ration books among the 7 of us, and now you make 8.
Mr. Von Don, you don't realize what's happening outside. You don't realize what's going on. Right here in Amsterdam, every day, hundreds of Jews disappear. They surround the block and search a house by house. Children come home back from school to find their parents gone. Hundreds are being deported. People that you and I know. The Hallensteins, the Wessels.
Oh, no.
They get their call-up notice to come in such and such a place and such, a day and an hour. Bring only what you can carry in a rucksack. And if you refuse the call-up notice, then they come and take you from your home and drag you off.
We didn't know that things had gotten so much worse.
Do you know a family, the DeWalls? Do you know what has become of them? Their daughter Yopi is Anna's best friend. They were in the same class.
I think we should put this off until later.
But we have so many questions we'd like to ask.
Forgive me, I haven't really expressed my gratitude to all of you. This has been such a shock to me.
The news sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? It's so different from Mr. Crawler tells us. Mr. Crawler says that everything is improving.
I like it better the way Mr. Crawler tells it.
Mr. Dussel is an interesting roommate. He says he gets along well with children and that I shouldn't worry about bothering him. But he's awfully quiet and so lonely seeming. I just finished another book yesterday. It was by a first-class writer, just like I hope to be someday. Monday, the 21st of September, 1942. Mr. Dussel and I have had another battle. According to him, nothing, and I repeat, nothing is right about me. My appearance, my character, my manners. While he was going about me, I thought, someday I'll give you such a smack that you'll fly right out onto the ceiling. Why is that every grown-up thinks that they know the right way to bring up children? Maybe they forget what it's like to be young. I wish I had someone to talk to. Peter's shy. Margaret's a darling, but she takes everything too seriously. I've started having nightmares, really frightening dreams, that wake me up screaming. I think I have a lot on my mind. Monday, the 9th of November, 1942. Wonderful news. The Allies have landed in Africa. For fun, we're talking about the first thing each of us wants to do when we get out of here. Miss Von Dawn longs to be home with her own things. Peter would like to go out to a movie. Mr. Dussel wants to go back to his stencil drill. And for myself, I have so many things. To ride a bike again, to laugh till my belly aches, to have a hot tub filled until overflowing and sit in it for hours, to be back in school with my friends.
And here we are, on the occasion of lighting the Hanukkah lights.
I make the best latkes you've ever tasted.
Don't talk about them.
It's really true. She does. Invite us all next year in your own home.
God willing.
God willing.
What I remember best is the presents we used to get when we were little. 8 days of presents, and each day they got better and better.
We're all here, alive.
You're right. That is pleasant enough.
No, it isn't. I've got something.
A crossword puzzle book? You erased it all so I could start it all again. It is wonderful, Anna. Thank you. You never know it wasn't new.
Hair shampoo, Mrs. Von Dawn.
Oh, sweet Anna.
There's more for all of you. Mr. Von Dawn. Cookies. Well, cookies made from leftovers mashed, but cookies. For Mother.
Here's an IOU that I promise to pay. 10 hours of doing whatever you say. Yours, Anna Frank.
A scarf. It's perfect, Annika.
For Pater, a window. I drew it. You can hold it up and feel like you are outdoors. And Mr. Dussel, earplugs. So you don't have to listen to me in the middle of the night.
Wasn't that so sweet?
Aww. Wait a second. Quiet. Footsteps.
Do you hear anything?
No, I think they're gone.
They found us.
If they had, they wouldn't have left.
They've gone to get reinforcements. They'll be back.
We've got to do something quick. Quick, before they come back.
There isn't anything to do. Just wait. I'm going down.
No, Father, no. There may be someone there waiting. It might be a trap.
This is Saturday. There's no way for us to know what has happened until Meep or Mr. Caller come on Monday morning. We cannot live with this uncertainty.
Don't go, Father.
Hush, hush. Keep still.
Are we just supposed to wait for them to come and get us?
Someone go after Father. Make Father come back.
It was a thief. He took cash from the office and the radio. Danger has passed. We're saved.
Who says the danger has passed? Don't you realize we are in greater danger than ever? He heard us. Someone now knows We're up here hiding.
Someone knows, but that someone is a thief. You really think a thief is gonna go to the green police and say, I was robbing a place the other night and I heard a noise over my head?
Yes, I think he will.
Father, let's get out of here. We can't stay here now. Let's go.
Go where?
Yes, where?
Have we lost all faith, all courage? A moment ago, we thought that they'd come for us. We were sure it was the end. But it wasn't the end. We're alive. We should be celebrating. Come on, Anna. It's Hanukkah.
It would be too loud to sing the song.
Oh,
Hanukkah, Hanukkah, come light the menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance the hora. Gather round the table, we'll give you a treat. Send people to play with and love us to eat.
Saturday, the 1st of January, 1944. Another year begun, and we find ourselves still in our hiding place. We have been here now for 1 year, 5 months, and 25 days. It seems that our life is at a standstill. We are all a little hungrier, a little thinner. The Von Dons are having trouble getting along. Mother still does not understand me, but then I don't understand her either. We could all use some sunlight, some fresh air, some space.
Wake up, everyone.
Meet's here.
We came to bring you New Year's greeting.
Mr. Caller, what a delightful surprise.
I can smell the wind on your clothes.
Smells like coal.
How are you, Margaret? Feeling any better?
I'm all right.
We stuffed her full with every kind of pill so she wouldn't make a cough or a noise.
With my hope for peace in the new year.
And mine.
A cake?
You should have some.
Thank you, Mipia.
Thank you.
You shouldn't have done it. You must have used your sugar ration for weeks.
Thank you, Meep. I haven't seen a cake since the one you bought last year.
My pleasure, Pater. We wanted to have something special to start 1942. Enjoy it, all right? I'll be back up to see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Oh my God, thank you so much.
Thanks and bye.
Before I go, Mr. Frank, if we could speak privately for a moment.
What happened? Something's happened, hasn't it, Mr. Crawler?
Okay. A man who works downstairs. He came to me asked me, "How's Mr. Frank? What do you hear from Mr. Frank?" I told him I only knew there was a rumor that you were in Switzerland. He said he heard that rumor too, but then the other day I saw him. He was standing staring at the bookcase. The bookcase that hides your door. He said that he thought he remembered a door there. Wasn't there a door there? What should I do? He wants me to pay him more money.
Offer half of the money he asked for. Then you'll know if it's blackmail or not.
All right, we'll see. Be well, and we'll see you soon.
I'm getting sick of this.
Margaret, think how lucky we are.
It isn't our fault the world is such a mess.
She's right. We didn't start this.
So don't be angry when we say we're sick and tired of it.
Anna, why don't you cut to violence? We can talk if you want to blow some steam.
Do you mean it?
I'm all ears. After a year and a half of seeing each other in close quarters, Peter and I finally become friends. It helps a lot to have someone to talk to. We've had bad news. The people who gave Meep our ration books have been arrested, so we have to cut down on our food. Our stomachs are so empty they rumble. Monday, the 6th of March, 1944. Mr. Crawler is in stress. Have I been skipping around too much when I write? I can't help it. Spring is coming. I feel it in my whole body and soul. I feel I'm longing for everything, for more friends, for the outdoors, for people who understand.
Margaret, would you like to come with me to Peter's room to talk?
I have a book. It's all right.
Margaret, come and spend a little time with us. Have some fun.
Really, I'm all right. Go.
Someday we'll be out and we can dance, Margaret. Read away. Well, you know I want to be a journalist or something. I love to write. What do you want to do?
I think I might go off some place in nature, work on a farm or something.
A farm? I'll visit you, and we'll be in the grass and the sun.
By this time, we all know each other so well that if anyone starts a story, the rest can finish it for him. We're having to cut down further on our meals. Thursday, the 20th of April, 1944. Meep tells us that outside, people talk of the end of the war. For myself, Peter and I talk a lot about all sorts of things, here and outside. It makes it a lot more bearable to have someone we can talk with.
It's Meep.
Come, Meep. We're glad to see you. Through at this hour? Is everything all right?
The most wonderful news. The invasion has begun.
Where?
It began early this morning. The radio says they landed on the coast of Normandy.
The British are saving us?
The British, Americans, French, Dutch, Poles, Norwegians, all of them. More than 4,000 ships.
Help has come.
I'll be back up in a minute. I hear more.
We are going to be free.
We are all in much better spirits these days. There is still excellent news of the invasion. The best part about it is that I have a feeling that we'll be back before school in fall. Wednesday, the 2nd of July, 1944. The invasion seems temporarily bogged down. Everyone is low. Even Father can't raise their spirits. I've often been downcast myself, but never in despair. I can shake off everything if I write. Another birthday has gone by, so now I am 15. Already, I know what I want. I have a goal, an opinion.
There it goes again, the telephone in the office below. Mr. Franck, do you hear?
Yes, I hear.
But this is the third time, Mr. Franck. It's a signal. I can tell you it's Meep, trying to warn us. For some reason, she can't come to us, and she's trying to warn us of something.
Please.
Something has happened. For 3 days now, Meep hasn't come to us. And today, not a man has come to work.
Perhaps it's Saturday. Maybe we lost track of days.
You with the diary there. What day is it?
I didn't lose track of the days. It's Friday, the 4th of August. Meep is trying to tell us something. Mr. Franck,
Answer it. You don't have to speak. Just pick it up and listen and see if it's me.
No, I told you no. I'm doing nothing that might let anyone know we're in the building.
Mr. Fox, right?
If we wait patiently, quietly, I believe that help will come.
we're going down.
No.
Look, Peter, the sky. What a lovely day. Aren't the clouds beautiful? You know what I do when it seems as if I couldn't stand being cooped up for one more minute? I think myself out. I think myself on a walk in the park where I used to go with Pim, where the daffodils and crocus and the violets go down the slopes. You know the most wonderful thing about thinking yourself out? You can have it any way you like. You can have roses and violets and chrysanthemums all blooming at the same time. It's funny, I used to take it all for granted, and now I've gone crazy about everything having to do with nature. Haven't you?
I've just gone crazy. I think if something doesn't happen soon, if we don't get out of here, I can't stand much more of it.
When I think of all that's out there, the trees and flowers and seagulls, when I think of the dearness of you, Pater, and the goodness of the people we know, Mr. Crawler, Meep, Dirk, all risking their lives for us every day. When I think of these good things, I'm not afraid anymore. I find myself and God, and
When I begin to think, I get mad.
Look at us, hiding out for 2 years, not able to move, caught here, like, waiting for something to happen.
We're not the only people that have had to suffer. There have always been people that have had to. Sometimes one race, sometimes another, and yet...
That doesn't make me feel any better.
I know it's terrible trying to have any faith when people are doing such horrible. But you know what I sometimes think? I think the world may be going through a phase, the way that I was with Mother. It'll pass, maybe not for hundreds of years, but someday, I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are really good at heart.
I want to see change now, not 100 years from now.
But Pater, look at the sky now. Isn't it lovely? Someday, when we're outside again, I'm going to...
For the past 2 years, we have lived in fear. Now we will work on living in hope.
And so it seems our stay is over. They are waiting for us now. They allowed us 5 minutes to get our things. We can take each a bag and whatever we can hold of clothing. Nothing else. So dear diary, that means I must leave you behind. Goodbye for a while. P.S. Please, please, Meep, or Mr. Caller, or anyone else, if you should find this diary, will you please keep it safe for me? Because one day, I hope...
No more.
I've gone to the country to find food. When I got back, the block was surrounded by police.
It seems strange to say this, but Anna was happy in Holland. After 2 years of being shut up, at least she could be out in the fresh air that she loved. We felt sure they'd freed us in time. Then, when we got out, we went all over asking, "Who are you? Where were you? Were you in Belsen? Is it possible that you knew my wife, my husband, my son, my daughter?" That's how I found out about my wife's death. Of Margaret, the Von Dons, Peter, Dussel, but Anna, I still hoped. Yesterday I met a woman. She'd been in Belsen with Anna. I know now.
In spite of everything, I still believe that everyone... In spite of everything, I still believe that there's goodness inside of everyone.
She puts me to shame.
Hi guys. Oh, this is not working. Maybe if you were an actor in the show, if you would come have a seat on stage, and maybe people in the room have questions that they would like to ask of the cast about what they learned, about what it felt like to be in the show. Part of what we learned in class was about what it takes to put on a play, so they helped to direct and design costumes and analyze the script, so they can answer questions both about that kind of work and about learning about the story of these people who were in hiding during the Holocaust. So maybe if anybody has a question, we'll answer them. Ezra.
Were the 3 phone rings, was it like a real warning or just a coincidence?
I think it was just a coincidence, but everyone was worrying about it because they thought it was a warning, but it really wasn't.
Also, I think they've got a bit of cabin fever, so they're all going crazy about one tiny noise they hear or make. So, you know.
They're paranoid. Yeah. Really it.
I wanted to compliment the entire cast. Tremendous job bringing it to life. My question is, what do you think was the hardest part of being locked up in that area?
So one of the things we try to sort of act out is like everyday life is still going on for them. They're still going to school, right? We talked about algebra with Margaret, and like we play sisters, and at one point we were fighting for like a cup of water. Like we're trying to think of like how it would be in everyday life in this place where we're sort of all of our actions are stifled, and we had to sort of figure out how to be quiet yet act like we're kids who are and adults who are living a life here.
And I think another hard part for them was that they couldn't go outside or do anything like that how they usually would. They would have to stay inside all day and night and never leave, which was probably really hard for them.
Great, we pass it to Isabel. Okay, so the part that we tried to act out was that like we're just like, I found that it was hard that just two strange families, like they're just strangers, on a random day, like a war breaks out and they just have to move in here. It's very sudden, they leave everything behind. And like I find it especially hard for like the kids, like Anna, Margaret, and Pater, because they're like, what has happened to our living style? And like in Anna, in Mr. Fong's conversation about like her stuff, like she's had that for her whole life, and then now it's like something very special for her. So I just find it hard that their life has changed so dramatically in such a short time.
Also, probably one of the harder things for like legit everyone was like they couldn't move for hours at a time from like 8 to 6 business hours. They couldn't move. They couldn't make a sound, otherwise their lives would be in jeopardy. And I also know for my character, the hardest thing was the lack of food.
But like adding on to Isabel, it's like complete strangers being with each other. So like you have to act as if like you are like complete strangers in the beginning, becoming like best friends in the end. Because like the fact is like when you're like with two people together for over like 2 years, right? It becomes very like you care so much for each other. So then like in the end when like the noise crashed, everyone kind of realized that it had become the end, and it was like not only the end of like their time living in this horrible place, but it was like the end of like being able to be together and knowing that you might not like being able to be together, and like after that you might get separated.
I think if we're zooming in on the kids, it'd probably be the most hard part is living, not like getting away or just completely living with all those adults, because the adults, they're going crazy and they can't really help their kids in any way, so they pretend like their kids are adults, and when their kids do something that a kid would do, they'd be like, an adult wouldn't do that, and aren't you guys adults, right? Yeah. So they get really like pushed around, and like they have to be someone they're not expected to be usually. So yeah.
Yeah, great.
Do you think that the dad, Mr. Frank, was he that calm in like real life? Do you think he wasn't like oh my, like inside, like stressed out inside? Do you think he was just like totally calm?
I'm gonna ask Hannah to answer that.
I think that Mr. Frank was definitely calm in real life, or calmer than a lot of the other parents or a lot of the other adults, because like, he was also German, and that's why he wasn't pulled off to a concentration camp. But he definitely did have moments where he was afraid of what did happen in the end.
We're gonna take another question if there's another question. Yeah.
To Anna and Anna's voice, what is it that you felt and what is it that you learned about being that person who wrote this and repeating their words?
So we'll hear from Ava and then Danny.
I felt they kept, in the beginning of the play, everyone was saying when they get out, they're going to do this. Or when I get out, I want to be this or live here. And then because then they don't actually get out, or they go to the concentration camp, but they never live to be free. So it's kind of hard reading it, because then you're like, this is going to happen, but they don't know it yet.
Yeah, I also think Anna as like a character, I think Peter might be a little younger, I don't remember, but Anna is like sort of still feeling very like childish and still wants to live as a child. And so she feels like when she gets in there, like she dances and all that, and when she gets in there she feels like she can't, which makes her want to do it more, right? So that's why you see like a lot of scenes where I'm sort of messing everything up for everyone. And I think also like you have to think of this, she's a kid and she can't make any noise for like a whole day. She's not going to be sitting there waiting patiently for the hour. She's going to be, trying to cause commotion, like wanting to get on with the day.
We also talked a lot, right, guys, about some of the difficulty that came about when the diary was published, and some sort of like different feelings that people have about publishing the diary. And I wonder if anybody wants to say anything about that. Isabel, and then we'll take a question from the. Okay, awesome, thank you. So Isabel, say something about that, and then we'll maybe hear more questions.
So I think people had like very different feelings. Some would think like, this is a private information, even if the girl wanted it to be kept safe or to be published. I think part of it, like her relationship with her mother, her sister, that's very personal things. It's very, like, they're all dead, so it's not like they saw it. Well, the dad did. But yeah, and I think some of them were like just taken by the fact, like, wow, like it's very emotional, and they're just like, this is insane. We don't live like this today. There's no, like in New York and the U.S., there's nothing going on like this right now. And some people think this deserves to be published. We should know what was going on back then. We should have known about this girl. She really sets an inspiration for people.
Great answer. Charlotte.
Like when the glass shattered, was that like supposed to be like when the people came, or was it just like, yeah, okay.
Great question. Imogen, you want to answer?
The glass shattering was the Nazis breaking into the office building below.
And there were other sounds we didn't include, right?
Yeah, like this in the actual thing, there was like stomping and cars, and yeah.
And people yelling in German.
Oh yeah, yelling in German. But yeah, that wouldn't have made sense for us because we didn't always have.
Right. Ezra.
So this is a question for Meep, actually. I wanted to ask, what did you think? What did you think about Meep bringing Anna and her family like a birthday cake for the New Year's and just being like their news from the outside world?
What do we talk about Meep's like role? Can you tell us about, is Meep Jewish or not?
Meep isn't Jewish.
And what do you think about like somebody working that way to see? She did. You know.
She like risked her own life to help everyone.
Need nothing more. Okay, that's a great answer. We probably have time for one more question.
I thought that the Americans and the British were coming to rescue. Did they all die, or did they not? Didn't come?
That's a really good question. Do you remember the answer? Okay. Anybody who hasn't, Rachel, you want to answer? You haven't talked about.
What was the question?
So you know
like,
how
you know
in the
when
play
the
it
British
seems like
and the
things are getting
Americans were
better and they
coming?
don't happen. Remember how we talked about like the war was kind of confusing and they got lots of different news. And they did liberate people, but it was too late.
So, the Americans and British did come and free people, but it was too late because, like,
in the families had already died.
yeah, everyone everyone here besides Mr. Frank were already dead from being taken off to the concentration camps. So ultimately they did come and rescue people, but it was too late for the Franks and Dusels and everything.
Well, since the Von Dons and the Franks weren't necessarily supposed to be living there, they that town that they were in was most all those people they were who were Jewish were already out of there by that point. So by the time they came, it was since the Franks and Von Dons weren't supposed to be there, they didn't really they just they saved people, but they didn't realize they didn't it was too late because they thought that everyone else there was just not there.
So I just want one more time for us to really appreciate all of the hard work and effort that went into this production, and I think they deserve a really a round of applause. And again, want to truly thank Emma Miller, who is our theater arts director, who has done tremendous work with our kids throughout the course of the year. So I want to say just one thing, and then end on a song of peace as we actually close out the end of today, this day of remembrance of Yom Hashoah. I was taught a quote once that always stuck with me. And I just, again, appreciate the testimony that you're able to share with our community. And the one thing I'll say is, this is one story, this is one narrative. And if I could push you to do anything else, it's to go out there and learn as many testimonies and hear as many testimonies as you can. I was once taught that the overwhelming response to this Jewish death is actually Jewish life. And so it's actually, next week at this exact time is when we celebrate that during Yom HaAtzmaut. We have this moment where we are sad and that's okay. And then we get to celebrate life as we celebrate the birthday of Israel. So on that note, I'm going to ask if we can join in singing Oseh Shalom, which is our prayer for peace, all together. Oseh Shalom bimroma.
Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimroma. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimroma. Uyaseh so much fun. You should try.